This is Jules Smalis, a student at Allderdice High School and a Remake Learning Days Youth Ambassador. I just attended the virtual event, Communities of Practice Grounded in the Teachings of Fred Rogers, where a panel of educators from around the world discussed the impacts of Fred Rogers and his ideals about respect, compassion, integrity, and kindness. Through his famous television series, he implements these philosophies, touching millions of hearts around the world. Eileen McDermott, a JTSP librarian in Ireland, describes her introduction of Fred Rogers as...
It's a funny one how I came into this, but really timely. So when a couple of years ago, I came upon the documentary that was made about Fred, which I watched, and I can't even remember why I ended up watching that documentary. My husband and I watched it together one night. But for whatever reason, when I started to watch that documentary, I was kind of immediately captured by this man's style of communication and the pace of it. And as I'm watching, I find by the end of this that I have been sobbing, crying, and like that was such a strange response for me to be provoked in that way, disturbed in that way, but also there was some kind of healing happening as I was watching this documentary. And there was words being put across there and a style of communication that I had to find out more about.
The feeling evoked from McDermott's introduction to Fred Rogers is shared by many, which is why educators just like her want to take the opportunity to continue his teachings.
I think what people have said about the deep listening, the real sense of presence. The other thing that our small group talked a good bit about over the last few months was, how Fred really relied on the idea of sort of a nudge. It was sort of like a spiritual thing for him when he felt sort of nudged to interact with someone in a certain way or reach out to someone. It was something he couldn't really explain other than saying he just sort of felt an urging, a nudge to do that. And so I think that's a powerful thing to share, to learn to trust ourselves and our own intuition. For some of us, that's easier than for others, to learn to really trust that. But yeah, I think going back to what I said at first, I think the attention is a big thing.
I've always, as an educator, said to children and to teachers, did you have a good day? I hope you have a good day. And I never stopped until now and said to myself, what does a good day mean? What does a good day mean to an adult, a parent who is dropping their car off or dropping their child off at the car rider line, the bus driver when I say, have a good day. And so my hope that through my actions and slowing everyone down on our Slow Down Wednesdays, and it is in the households, parents have said, what are you really doing on Slow Down Wednesday at your school? And it's that time where we take a breath and we practice the strategies that we use 7 days a week, not just on Wednesdays, but everyone knows that Slow Down Wednesdays is a new technique that we use because Fred Rogers was very calming when he did the morning announcements through me. I would, watch Fred Rogers, then get on and do our morning announcements on the screen. And I thought, okay, eye contact, give the kids eye contact, talk slower instead of hurry up and let's get to period one. And so I feel like what I can give to others is that slow down feeling, but defining what a good day looks like. Let them define it instead of me as the principal controlling it. So instead of me being the umbrella for everybody in our school and trying to protect everyone, I flipped it and I'm letting the children be the umbrella for each other. Let them tell me, hey, Mrs. G, it's a Slow Down Wednesday. Why do you have that look on your face? And that empowerment piece. And that's so important as educators that we stop And that's what Fred Rogers did. So I hope that I'm sharing that with my family.
I also think a lot about the pressures that teachers of young children are facing, and the tension and the desire to be seen as important and valued has led many to accept some of the voices that they have to be it's very complex, right? Their work has to be very complicated, and it is always complicated by these things that are coming at us from society. But the quote about deep and simple is greater than shallow and complicated is one of the most powerful ones for me. And I try to remind the students of this. And working, and what I want for them is to be able to enter their work with the singular focus that I see in Fred's interactions all the time, that it goes back to what Andrew said at the very beginning, that love, and then this desire to show that the greatest gift you can give anyone is your honest self, and that this is the knowing who that self is and being able to share that with another is the deep and simple that is so powerful when we talk about education. And so I think if I can help them create those moments like the Slow Down Wednesday or whatever it is, to find a way to focus on the deep and simple and not get distracted by all of the busyness, the shiny, the noisy world around us, but to embrace the silence, and to recognize the sacred space that happens in that learning that Fred talked about also, right? The sacred space there between the television screen and the viewer. It happens in classrooms every day, but we don't embrace that because we get so caught up in the noise. And so I really do want is for teachers to be able to have that clear, constant presence and sense of that deep and simple.
Panelists described how they will continue to implement the Fred Rogers approach and encourage students to be good neighbors. For Remake Learning Days, this is Youth Ambassador Jules Smalis signing off.